you see that one?
Pardon?
How'd you see that one?
I think like you all saw it. What do you think?
Well, it would be disappointing from your perspective, I imagine. Especially
Yeah, but
after last
specifically, what do you see? Q1.
week. Lack of ability to exit D50 and then
Yeah.
just getting
How to get there?
from contest clearance.
Yeah. So you summed it up, right? So, which has been our Achilles heel a bit. So, when we've been playing well, clearance work's been good, centre per square bounce. But ultimately around the contest, which is really stoppage, they're a real territory team, and for a weird reason, but it's irrelevant really, but it was a bit more slippery and hectic early. They got it in there and they dominated clearance, wins and territory, and we were pinned and couldn't get it out. Our forwards were too far away, not good enough with the ball in hand, got stripped. So yeah, I think it was 23 inches to 4. So that's what I thought in the first quarter. But if you want to get into technicalities and government, which I haven't sprayed the group since I've been here, but I think first possession was like 12-10 at one point, and clearances were 3-12, right? So we had it, but their physicality and stripping, our ability to control the ball, exit the ball in a manner that's expected was bottom end, right? So you win the ball, first possession, off the ruck's hand, and either they're too big and strong and strip it, or we just flick it out flippantly and the ball just gets swept away. That's what happened a lot. So we're really... And after quarter time, they responded to that. We're far from perfect, we know that. They've won 19 out of 21. They're handy, right? So we feel like we're developing and emerging and all those sort of things, right? Throwaways. But we felt at times we're in the game when we could win the ball, and our competition was pretty good. But just when even at the end of the third, smothered kick here, step out of bounds here, or our first 4 opportunities out of defence or 3 when we're gold and we just slaughter the ball, which is just demoralising. And they're that good, they just go bang, bang, and people are hanging their heads, which we don't do normally. So predictability later with the ball. And we had some good passages, but we're not executing at a high enough standard for long enough. So we know what the promised land looks like. A number of us have been on the other side, what really high level looks like, and we're on that journey. But you've got to make sure that you build out your capability so you don't fall by the wayside. You know what I mean? So we'll just go and look to improve. But as I said, how do you improve it? After an old bloke comes down and says, how about you focus on this, this and this, and then the tide is up pretty quick, which tells you mentally they weren't tuned into the conditions and the opponent like they needed to be. So that was really disappointing. And then I thought Rowe had a great battle with McInerney, the ruck. And McInerney's been a bit of a nemesis, so it wasn't the ruck, it was ground level.
Was it the contest stuff that made you pull the trigger on your subs so early in that second?
No, well, Hugo was a part. Like, I don't know, how much do you guys know, like, about stay ahead mids and swivelling and turning? Sometimes I just get to roll the ice stage, right? Sometimes you've got to stop talking about it, and sometimes you just go bang.
Did you regret it once Mason...
Why would I regret it?
Well, once Mason Wood went down with concussion not too long after.
Not at all. Not too long after.
The next quarter.
Quarter and a bit, was it? How long was it? How long after? 2 quarters? That's a half. I live in the world of action, right? So you'd sit there and go, why didn't they pull the sub? I pulled the sub, tried to get something done.
Did you give the players a spray at quarter time?
Not a spray, but yeah, I was animated because it was like...
The most animating thing being...
Yeah, since I've been back at the club. Yeah, but it's not personal. It was like first possession, 12-3 or 12-4, and clearances are 3-12. How about show some fortitude, hang on the ball and get it going our way, or get a restart?
That's the most disappointed you've been, obviously.
Pardon?
That's the most disappointed you've
No, I don't think it's about disappointment. It's about AFL teams don't do this under pressure. I just coach action. That's all you can coach, right? I don't know. No, you can't read their minds. Can you?
No. Did you get?
Can I talk about their feelings? Can I coach feelings? Do you coach feelings? Emotion a bit, spirit? what do you see? What are we talking about here? Action, aren't we? Action, specific. So we know the actions need to be delivered, keep doing or modify. So quarter time was to modify the action and get doing this.
Did you sense anything before the game, or it was just
No.
these things happen?
No, look, we know where we're at, right? Like we're trying to build our capability, and Garcia, Wilson, like they're young, right? But that's okay. Everyone's got some young players, and we're talking top of the pops. So I think going to come here is going to be a picnic. I wouldn't have thought so. But you know what you got to do? You got to really compete at clearance. You got to protect the corridor. They didn't have to move it out of their D50, did they? Much. So, but then when we won the ball and got some territory, I thought we looked dangerous, and they had to respond, and they did. Do you know what I mean? But we've played some pretty good teams and won. Geelong jumped them, Port jumped them. You see, there was some Richmond. So we've got a lot of work to do, but we know where we're headed. We're not deviating. Hopefully, you know, there were some good performances in the seconds. You know, hopefully Boxall, Travaglia, Tarou's coming. Philippou is available next week. He trains that intensely. I don't know, probably an opportunity to bring him in. So, yeah, there's a bit to expose and embrace a bit. I liked Howard back. We're a bigger team. I thought after 14 weeks surgery and no game, I thought he wasn't perfect, but I thought he helped us. I thought Owens, when he went in, gave us some grunt around the ball. Nazaya in the midfield was fantastic. I thought you can just see the quality we're chasing. We'd like more of that quality, but he'll play more and more midfield, right? And Sinclair, we know that. We know what we need to get.
Jack Higgins, he kicked threes, equal top of the Common Medal leaderboard now as a small forward. You know, hasn't always had the best supply, but he's obviously been doing very
Hasn't always been what?
Hasn't always had the best supply, like he's created a lot
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
What have you kind of made of just his season and that game again today?
Yeah, I don't think it's a time for individual accolades, but yeah, I think he's taking his opportunities. There was stuff we would have liked him to do. We probably require a bit more for the system, but he's taking his opportunities. If you want to go to the bigger story of Jack, do you know his history and what he's been through? No, yeah, well, yeah. So if you're going to be in the business, son, or whatever, you want to. So he had a brain tumour, didn't he? Basically removed, brain surgery. Very vulnerable from Richmond, and how's his fortitude and his courage? What a story! It's incredible. And he's the hardest. Trains as hard as anyone. Is coachable, lively. So. You know, he was on the Pean Highway, 12 o'clock at night, stopped his car and fell out of his car with a brain tumour, had brain surgery. Pretty good story.
How did you rate the captain's game today? I think you said before the game.
I don't know, I'll have a look at it. Yeah, I thought there were some steps forward. Yeah.
What do you want to see from him, or what hasn't he been? What do you want to see from him, or what hasn't he been?
Well, there's some conversations we just talk to ourselves. I think Jack's the best judge of his footy. Like, yeah. Thought he had a number of clearances, and yeah, he's working on it, yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,